Well, good morning again, or whenever you're watching this, Northside. It is Wednesday, April 16th, Wednesday of Holy Week, and I'm here with my friend Stacey Adams. Stacey, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing well. Good morning, David. How are you?
I'm doing very well. I'm happy to be here with you.
I am as well.
Okay, so Stacey, let's jump right in. Tell me what, if anything, was your family traditions around Easter? Did you guys recognize Holy Week? Did you recognize Easter, or was it kind of like a lot of Church of Christ people, like just another Sunday?
Yeah, no, we recognized Easter in our household. Easter was a time where family came together on Easter Sunday morning. My mom was very serious about our Easter purple shirts or pink shirts. My brother and we would match the shirt to ties. Um, and that was important to her that we came together as a family, which most Sundays we were always all together. But after services, then all of our family would come together, and the traditional meals, Easter Sunday meals we would have, favorite desserts she would make sure we had, and then of course the Easter egg hunt that would happen
Yeah.
backyard with all our cousins and our neighbors, kids, and our friends. And so Easter was a big time for us. We look forward to going out shopping, and
Hmm.
my brother and I truly we didn't, but we kind of liked the fact of the day of, like, oh man,
Yes.
okay, that was worth it.
Yeah.
Because we were easy. It was my sisters that were very difficult
Okay. Okay.
to get
So
them.
like I'm gonna be the easy one here.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
I
fun.
get that.
Yeah.
Stacey, it sounds like I have very similar memories of Easter wearing clothes that I didn't know why I was wearing this, but then really looking forward to the meals and the Easter egg hunts
Absolutely.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I did not grow up even knowing that there were other Christians recognizing every day of the week leading up to Easter. Did you?
I did learn that the older I got, but in
Hmm.
other years, no, I didn't know. Didn't have
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
interesting. It's become something very rich to me now because of how I always liked field trips in school. Like I felt like I learned a lot more going somewhere on the road somewhere than I did just learning about it in a classroom. And for
Absolutely.
me, walking through Holy Week feels like a field trip. We're spending the week with Jesus
Yeah.
leading up to Easter
Yeah.
rather than just, we've gone through half the Gospel of Mark and then boom, we're in Easter and we've skipped over uh, an entire third of, in this case, the Gospel of Mark. That's
Mhm.
another thing we want to do with these videos is spend some time in the Gospel of Mark that we wouldn't get to uh, because it goes all the way for, the passion narrative is the entire last third of Mark, and
Right.
we want to spend some time there. So I asked you to read ahead of time chapter 14, 1 through 21. What stood out to you, if anything? What kind of jumped out at you or surprised you, or did you feel like you're reading for the first time?
Yeah, no, I tell you, this time reading it, I've never read Mark and thought of this. But I think it's funny and I think it's beautiful at the same time. Mary uh, in the Bible, and then our Mary Bozeman. Uh, I, it crossed my mind how
Yeah.
strong Mary in the Bible was, and
Yeah.
how she took her very last, or her most valuable item.
Hmm.
And to me, she was just this doer that said,
Mm.
I don't care what people think of it. I don't care if people understand it. I don't care if people recognize it. I love the Lord and Jesus, and this is what I'm going to do. And she just, as I'm reading, she just keeps, our Mary Bozeman keeps popping in my head. And I'm like, God, what a great name to have. And I associate her with Mary in the Bible. And I take a lot from that. I was honored to have her come sit on the front row a couple of Sundays ago because she was on program. And I could feel her going into a moment in service. And I love her moments in service, but they've always been across the
Yeah.
worship center because we don't sit next to each other. But I could just feel her, and all I did is I just took my hand and put it on her back.
Hmm.
I wanted to be
Yeah.
connected to that positive spiritual energy that was,
Yeah.
and that's just kind of who I am. I'm just that way, but didn't think anything of it. Well, I received a text from her yesterday that said, "Hey, brother Adams, I've been wanting to sing you this. I want to thank you for enhancing my worship." And that just meant so much to me. She's her own unique person, way of worship, way of communicating,
Yeah.
way of speech. Her prayers are just so powerful. So when I read it this time, I was like, God, why is Mary Bozeman keep popping in my head? So that's
Yeah. Stacey, that's beautiful. I'm getting a little must be
yeah.
some dust in the air or something here. I've got water in my eyes. So much of what you're saying just feels so obviously true right away, right? I mean, it's this even putting your hand on Miss Mary so that you can feel and you can kind of experience that. It makes me even see in that way you're kind of like Mary pouring the perfume out on Jesus, right? She just wanted to experience
Yes,
what he was, and
yes,
it comes out in this act of service for her.
yes.
But what you're saying about Miss Mary too, it just rings so true, right? I mean,
Mhm.
uh, I I love how her love for Jesus uh, will come first to anyone's expectations of how someone should act.
Absolutely.
And I want to be more like that.
I, and that's what, that's what I'm going, or where I'm trying to get to is like,
Yeah.
we are blessed to be a part of a Northside group together, and
Hmm.
she'll ask me to take her home. And man, on the ride home, just our conversation, like you can't plan it, you can't predict it, but I just feel that spirit that
Yeah.
I witnessed in church in the car on the way home. And man, it's probably a 20-minute drive, but it
Yeah.
feels like it was a 5-minute drive
Yeah.
because it's so rich with wisdom and scripture
Right.
and prayer. So it's
Right.
awesome person.
And we get a little bit of Jesus as a reaction, right, to this
Mhm.
kind of affection and love. But I find myself wishing Mark would have given us more details. How is Jesus feeling about this? Clearly, he is appreciative of her, and clearly he's now teaching his disciples be more like her.
Absolutely.
But I want to know, here's how I want to say this. I want to know, don't you just think Jesus is just so happy with
Oh,
Mary?
yes.
Don't you think he's just so happy with,
Yes.
our Miss Mary too?
Yes.
Uh,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
and
Yes.
that's so beautiful to me, that very human connection
Absolutely.
here.
Absolutely. And I think there's just great examples of how we should be
Yeah.
to God. And I try to ask myself every year, have I grown spiritually?
Yeah.
What's my level than what I was last year?
Hmm.
And was there a time where I felt like I had to minimize my faith and my belief?
Hmm.
And of course, the older I get, I feel like it gets stronger and stronger and stronger. But uh, when reading that, um, it made me do a self evaluation again, and just to see, just would I give my very best?
Wow.
I was put in the shoes, my very best,
Wow.
whether that's my child, my very best material. Would I be willing to do that? And
Right.
so yeah,
Well, I didn't even ask you to read to verse 26, but I mean, you're making a connection here for me that I didn't have before. Where now I'm like, oh, I really think Mark is trying to signal this, because what happens in 26 is Peter's denial is foretold. And
Mhm.
you're painting this awesome picture for me right now, in I was going to say the real world, but in the modern world of Mary's unashamed affirmation of Jesus, claiming of Jesus by washing his feet, and then 5 verses later, Peter, you're gonna deny me. And when you talked about, have I grown? Has there been any point this year where I've had to minimize my faith? You're really making these characters, Peter and Mary, and the comparison between them that I think Mark's trying to do really come alive for me.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's really what I've gotten out of that. And I wish, and I think of this book is it to me, it's like a bullet point.
Uh-huh.
Wish it could expand and be
Yeah.
more. Like I really would like to really be more in depth with what's there. But
Yeah.
just in my interpretation, what I've got, my bullet point, those are the things that stood out for me in reading it.
Wow.
So thank you for assigning the scripture. Thank you for
Well,
the assignment. It's been an eye opener for me in my life.
well, thank you for taking the time and giving your time to our Northside family and
Yeah,
giving your the spirit flowing through you and saying to our church family what uh, I think God's telling you to say. So
yeah,
this was wonderful. Thank you for taking the time. And Northside, we'll have one more video that'll come out tomorrow. So I hope you're enjoying this, and we hope to see you at Good Friday at church. I'll be there,
yeah.
but I hope to see the rest of you there too. Stacey, thanks so much.
Thank you. Love y'all.